Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami.
Okay. So we are talking about the same, the flower and the color of the flower. Are those one or different? If you say one, what's the problem? It is logically inconsistent because these two are different. And if you say these two are different, what's the problem? It contradicts with the conventional world, right? And the conventional world will send you to mental hospital, right? Okay. So for this, how do you resolve this? This is a major issue, believe it or not. In the olden times in India, say Buddhist logicians and the non-Buddhist logicians, they were having lots of debates, heated debates in those days. And the debates, that say, if the two are different, if the two things are different, then they should be entity-wise different. Many logicians, they got the feeling that if they are two should be entity-wise two. Substantially two, entity-wise two. Whereas Acharya Dinaka, Acharya Dharmakirti, Acharya Dirnaka, 6th century AD. Acharya Dharmakirti, 7th century AD. There is a gap of 100 years. So two of them say no. If you don't understand the concept of entities and isolates well, then you are bound to face with lots of contradictions. And later on, if you have to study more in detail about these concepts, how the Acharya Dharmakirti present things as the concept of the emptiness, or concept of the impurity phenomena and substantial phenomena. Then you will see that all these debates are reflected in his text, and in the debates say that let's say the logicians of the Nyaya tradition, Vaisheshik tradition, and so they are easily caught up in internal contradictions. So this is all because of the failure to understand the concept of the entities, the difference between the entities and isolates. So what do you mean the entities and isolates? Okay, so if I ask you, saying that the flower and the color of the flower, are these two one or different? When this question is asked, in fact, we are mixing up two things. One is that flower and the color of the flower. Where? So I go to the object, because when I speak about the color of the flower, it's about who's describing it. My mind is describing it. You agree with me? And what is described? The object is described. Do you agree with me? So when I talk about the flower and the color of the flower as one or different, is the mind is describing the object. So there's interplay between object and subject. You getting it? There's interplay between object and subject. So when you say whether the flower and the color of the flower are these two one and different, either you go to the object or you go to the subject. You getting it? Because this is the only way by which we describe the flower and the color of the flower. So when you say, when I go to the object, sorry, okay, tissue. Okay, thank you. Okay. See that the flower and the color of the flower, are these two one or different? When I say are these two one or different, either we talk about it by going towards the object or by going towards the subject. There are only two ways of describing the flower and the color of the flower to be one or different. When you go towards the object, we're looking for the entities. You're getting it? Entities mean the substance. When you go towards the object to look for the flower and the color of the flower to be one or different, we're looking for the entity-wise one or different. When you go towards the subject to see whether the flower and the color of the flower, these two are one or different, we're looking for the isolate-wise one or different. And you may be a little lost. How many are lost now? Don't worry. So this is what I'm expecting. If you get lost, you are serious. You are listening to me. If you're not lost, all right, which means that either you follow me too well or you're not following me at all. Okay. How many you are lost, reasons? Right? Safer to say lost. Okay, good. Now, see that, okay, let's go to the object. When you go to the object, what are you looking for? Hey, when you go to the object to look for the flower and the color of the flower to one or different, you're looking for the two are entity-wise one or different. When you go to the subject to look for the flower and the color of the flower to be one or different, you're looking for the isolate-wise one or different. You're getting it? When you speak of the one and different, there are two ways of understanding it. Entity-wise one or different versus isolate-wise one or different. Okay, where's Ben? Yes, you will translate. Okay. Now, when you go to the object, to look for the flower and the color of the flower to be one or different, what are we looking for? Yes, whether the two are entity-wise one or different. So one and different, there are two understanding. Entity-wise one or different, or isolated-wise one or different. You're getting it? Let me repeat it. So those of us who are hearing this for the first time, it can be a little complex. Okay, let me repeat it. When you talk about the flower and the color of the flower as one or different, it can be thought of in two ways. Oneness or differentness on the entity-wise. Entity-wise one or different, or isolated-wise one or different. You getting it? Okay, first, don't worry, first let me go, and then it'll become clearer. Listen, now let's go to the object to look for the entity-wise one or different. say, do you agree with me? If you agree with me, you will say yes. Okay. You ask me, where's the flower? I said, this is a flower. Is it correct or not correct? Correct. Now you ask me, where's the color of the flower? I said, this is the color of the flower. Correct or not correct? Correct. So, for the reference of the two labels, flower, colored flower, for the reference of the two labels, I can point to the same object. Yes? Where's the flower? You're asking me, where's the flower? I'm pointing to the reference of the label flower. This is flower, correct? Good. Then you ask me, where is the color of the flower? I'm looking for the reference of the color of the flower. This is the color of the flower, correct? Not correct? Okay. So for the two labels, I pointed to the same object, which means that the two reference of the two labels, these two, flower and the color of the flower, these two are same entity. You're getting it? Flower and the color of the flower, these two are same entity, meaning that this flower, this color of the flower. I can point to the same object for the two labels. So the two reference of two labels, these two are same entity. When you go out to the object, we're looking for the entities. Okay, next. Now isolates. For isolates to see oneness or differentness, isolate wise one or different, what should we do? Hey, Jane, we go to the subject. You're getting it? And some of you may be wondering how. So flower and color flower, it's not on subject. How do you go to subject? So you're so curious, right? How many of you are curious? Raise hands. Okay, good. So how do we think about the color of the flower and the color of the flower as one or different on the subject level? So for that, what you do is, easier would be table and the top plank of the table. See? Table and the top plank of the table. Entity wise, okay, where's the table? This is table, correct or not correct? Correct. Where's the top plank of the table? This is the top plank of the table, correct or not correct? So we pointed to the same object for the reference of the two labels. So table and the top plank, these two are entity wise one. You're getting, I pointed to the same object for the two labels. You getting it? So table and the top plank of the table, these two entity wise one are different. Entity wise one. You're getting it? Now isolate wise one is different. You have to go to subject. Right? How do we go to the subject? You are wondering. Okay. Now don't look at the object. Close your eyes. We go to the subject. Right? So that you cut off from the object. Close your eyes and think of the table. Think of the table. Okay, now think of the top plank of the table. Think of the top plank of the table. Okay, open your eyes and tell me, these two appeared as different, or these two appeared as same? The table and top plank of the table, they appear as same or they appear as different? Again, those who say they appear as same, raise hands. They appear as different, raise hands. Very good. You're very serious. Okay, these two appear as different. You're getting it? Okay. Is there anybody, in what way the two appear as different? Raise hands. Quick. In what way the two appeared as different? In one, quick. No one. No, raise hands. No one. No one. No, don't put it as somebody else. If you want to raise hands, right? Okay. Go there, Korean girl, you raise hands? No. Okay, over there.
So the top of the table doesn't have the legs of the table, for example?
No, I do not ask, describe the table in top language. This is not my question. My question is, in what way the two appeared as different? Yes, your description is correct.
In my
Describe it.
imagination, or in my mind.
Yes.
they appear different.
How?
Their appearance.
In what way? The top plank, the table means the top plank plus the legs, and top plank means without legs. How many agree with your name?
Lethal.
Ithal. Lethal. How many agree with lethal? Raise hands. Good. So in your subjective mind, the two appear as different. You getting it? What appears as different to your subjective mind, these two are known as isolated wise different. You getting it? How many understood it? Raise hands. Good. Okay, let's say. Okay, now and still some of you may be curious why this is known as isolated, why this word isolated, right? So we will discuss it later. Okay.
I do not understand the color and the rules. They seem the same.
Okay, and I will touch on this, I promise. You're getting it? You remind me in case if I don't touch. Okay, next is the isolated wise one is different. This is what we're going to do exercise. We're going to exercise more. Okay, close eyes. Also, that means you close eyes. You have to think. Close eyes and think of. Okay, think of bread. Think of bread. Are you good? Now think of palette. Think of palette. No, just think. Why? Think. I didn't ask you to smile. Think of Bhagavad. Okay, the two appear is different or same? Huh? Different. So what is the bread like? Bread, how did it appear to you? No. Bread. No. Bread, how did it appear to your mind? Bread. The appearance didn't come to your mind. And that I know. Yeah. So, bread, did it come to your mind? Hey? No, bread did you? Yes. As a loaf? Okay. And the palette? No, that's not true. That's not true. Paglab is a Tibetan word for bread. You getting it? Paglab is a Tibetan word for bread. Okay, now be very serious. Meditate on bread. Think of bread. Now think of paglab. You don't sleep. Okay. Now think of water. Water. Now think of chew. Think of chew. Okay, now tell me, what's the difference? Chew and the water. Huh? No difference. No difference. Yes, Jacob. Okay, then you didn't know what is chew. Chew is a Tibetan word for water.
I was just clarifying, because if I'm not sure, then I can't imagine it.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can clarify. Yes, of course. Okay, now think of water. Now think of chew. Okay, tell me, is there a difference? No difference. In your conceptual mind, there is no difference between chew and water. So therefore, chew and water, these two are isolated wise one or isolated wise same. You getting it? Okay. Now, can you give me an example of entity wise different? Anyone, quick. I want new hands. Hey, don't be lazy. Raise hands. Entity wise different. Example of entity wise different. Quick, raise hands. Yes, Elena. No, the Isabel.
Two different entities,
Yes.
two different qualities.
No, just give me an example. Don't be general.
One would be water, chu, agua in Spanish, and the other could be earth.
Earth.
Yes.
Earth and water. Are these two entities wise one or different? Hey, louder. Deliberately we kept a long hour gap after lunch. It's not immediately after lunch, it's also like after lunch, right? Okay, so the two are entity wise different. What are they? Water and earth. These two entity-wise different. Correct. Anyone else who likes to give an example of entity-wise different? Arthur?
Light and pillar.
The light and the pillar.
The pillar.
Okay, light and the pillar. Light and the pillar. Some pillars, they are of the light. In some very creative. Right? They make the pillar itself light. Okay, or this light and this pillar. Perfect, perfect. How many agree with Artha? This light and this pillar, these two entity-wise different. Okay, good. Is there anybody who can explain why? Raise hands. Raise hands. Laura. These two exist?
They exist in two different places in space.
These two exist in two different places in space. Okay. It says somebody who's so obedient to what I said. Jacob? Jacob is Jacob. If you define Jacob, always define him as depends. Right? Depends. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, Jane.
Two different things.
Two different?
Two different phenomena I point to.
Two different phenomena. Oh, so when I point to the object, I have to point to two different objects or two different phenomena. You're getting it? Okay. So from this, what we say is that some of you may got the impression, so like what Laura said is not correct. It is 100% correct. You're getting it? The thing is that first, I don't want to confuse you. There are many of us who are learning for the first time. So if you can replicate what I said, then later on you can make it more refined. You can extend it to other reasons like what Laura the expert. She's from NTC 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, right? NTC 2, 3, 4 and NTC 2. Right? She's expert on this. And the retreats? Huh? This is third one. Yeah, she's expert. You getting it? So she come up with it from different angles. Okay. Say entity-wise. Is there anybody who can give us an example of entity-wise one? Yes, Brahma Samala. Sorry? Cup and golden cup. Cup and golden cup. Are these two entity-wise one or different? Entity-wise one or different. Okay, say cup and the golden cup. Okay, where is cup? Here, correct, not correct? Where is the golden cup? Here, correct, not correct? Correct, entity-wise one. You getting it? Thank you. That's correct. Okay. Is there anybody who likes to give an example of isolate-wise different? Yes, Nicola. Cup and the color of the cup. Cup and the color of the cup. These two are isolate-wise different. How many agree with Nicola? Raise hands. Okay. Is there anybody who likes to explain to us how these two are isolate-wise different? Anyone? Raise hands. Quick. Anyone? No one? Okay, Sherry Pema.
Going towards the subject, we can separate these two.
Oh, going towards the subject, we can see that the cup and the color of the cup, these two can be seen as different. Okay, this is very important point made. Right now, going back to what the Kamalji's question. What was Kamalji's question? Flower and the color of the flower, how these two are isolate-wise different or entity-wise one? Okay, how the color of flower and the color of the flower, how these two are entity-wise one? Is there anybody who would like to give the answer? Raise your hands, those who know the answer, raise hands. Okay, all those people who raised their hands except for Nicola, you are penalty because you are reluctant to raise your hand before, right? Okay. Tell me, how the flower, this was answer, flower and the color of the flower, entity was one or different?
Entity-wise?
One or different?
Entity-wise are one.
How?
How? Because
flower, and you point to
The color of the flower
flower.
is the same thing. Okay, good. Okay, so first what we do is that whenever you learn something, particularly when we learn something technical, right? For example, like Laura, she already learned this so many times, right? Newcomers, when we learn something, we try to replicate what was originally said, and then try to understand the concept. Once you understand the concept, later on, then you can expand. You're getting it? You can expand to other words. With the same concept, they change the wordings. How Laura was so beautifully done. Good, thank you. So, we see that flower and the color of the flower, these two are entities as one. Flower and the color of the flower, are these two isolated as one? Huh? How many of you know the answer is? How many of you know the answer? Meenakshi, you know the answer? No answer. You know the answer. What's the answer?
Get it subjectively.
No, what is my question?
The answer is whether isolate wise is it one or different.
So what is your answer? First, don't jump to the next question. What's the answer? Was one or different?
As an object, it's one.
No, isolate was one or different.
Different.
Different. Good. How?
Because when you get it subjectively,
When you think.
yeah.
When you think in your mind, the flower and the color of flower appears different. You're getting it? Now I'm going to make a very important statement. Thank you, Meenakshi ji. I'm going to make a very important statement. The flower is the characterized. Okay, Benla, translated. Same. Flower is the characterized object. And the color of the flower is the attribute or the quality of the object. You're getting it? Object and the quality of the object, these two always entity wise one, isolated wise different. In other words, flower, the whole and its parts. Whole and its parts. Flower is a whole and the parts like color, shape and so forth. You're getting it? Whole and the parts. What's the relationship? They're always entity wise one, isolated wise different. Okay, Ben.
מסתכלים על האובייקט, ועל התכונות של האובייקט, התכונות של האובייקט, entity wise אחד, ו-isolate wise שונים. וגם כשאנחנו מסתכלים על האובייקט שלם והחלקים שלו, גם אז, האובייקט והחלקים הם entity wise אחד, ו-isolate wise שונים. זה חוק שאנחנו צריכים לזכור.
Thank you. Okay, with this, now and later on, don't just follow me blindly. So whenever there is an object and its qualities or the attributes, or entity-wise ones, otherwise different, right? Yes, of course, this is a statement, is a huge statement, and you have to know how. You're getting it? These statements will help you to be in the proper answer. At the same time, you must understand the concept. Without knowing the concept, just repeating somebody doesn't help in any ways. Okay, now, entity-wise one. Oh, the flower is the object, and the color is the attribute of the flower. So, object and its qualities and its attributes or the qualities, the relationship is always one entity in different isolates. The whole and the parts. Whole and the parts, relationship is all, the flower is a whole, and the parts, the color of the flower, shape of the flower, atoms of the flower and so forth. Whole and parts relationship is always entity as one, isolated was different. You got it? Okay, now how many you got, how many you understood? Entity was one different, isolated was one different. Reasons? Okay, good. My next question. Yes. Now give me an example of what is entity wise different, isolated wise different. Give an example of what is entity-wise different, isolated-wise different. Okay, Ben, example, the translate.
יש היום קשר בין מה למשהו גם entity wise שונה, שני אובייקטים שהם entity wise שונים, ו-isolated wise גם שונה.
Okay, raise hands. How many you have the answer? Okay, Pooja. My question, do you understand my question? S-
Why is different?
As well as isolated-wise different.
It has to be the same.
Okay, anyone else? Okay, Piala. The book and the phone. These two are entity-wise different as well as isolated-wise different. How many agree with Tenzi Piala? Raise hands. Okay, good. Any more examples? Any more examples? Russian group? Not Russian. Israeli group? Israeli group? Anyone from it? Yes. Tree and a stone. A tree and a stone. Are these two entities was one? Are these two entities separate? Are you sure? Okay, just say yes. Don't trust my face. Don't trust my face. Yes, these two are the entity was different. Isolated was different? Are you sure? Okay. How many agree with your name, sorry? Mikhal. How many agree with Mikhal? Raise hands. Stone and tree. These two entities was different. Isolated was different. Raise hands. Good. Next question. Can you give an example of entity was one, isolated was one? Raise hands, raise hands. Yes. A tree. Tree is entity was one, tree and pair. Tree and pair. Pair means in the Hindi word for tree. These two are entity was one, isolated was one. How many agree with Venerable Tenzin La? Raise hands. Good. Now, can you give an example of entity wise one, isolated wise different? How many you have the answer? Raise hands. Entity wise one, isolated wise different. How many you have the answers? Raise your hands. Okay, and Drishti. Don't give me my example. Give me something which that owns to me. The fan and the blade of the fan. Okay, that's interesting. Fan and the blade of fan. These two are entity-wise different. Fan and the blade of the fan. These two are entity-wise one. No. Okay, how many agree with this girl? You look around. Raise hands. Okay. How many don't agree with this girl? Raise hands. Okay. Okay. Your name, sorry? Asta, tell me why don't you agree with her?
I'll give the same example. Like,
No. Do you No. Don't. Let's not go too beyond. Just stick to what I asked. Why don't you agree with this girl? The fan and the blade of the fan. How these two are not entity as one?
because the blade of the fan is not the quality of the fan, the attribute of the fan. The color of the fan may be the attribute.
Are these two entity as one or different?
Different.
Entity as one or different? Fan and the blade of the fan.
They're different.
Different. Jane?
I think they're one.
Entity was one.
Entity wise one.
Okay. How many agree with the Drishti and Jane? Raise hands. Okay. Okay, Taruna, justify your point. How two of them are correct?
When you will ask me about the fan, I will point at the
When you are to point to the fan, you can point to the blade and say, this is fan. That's correct. Whereas a blade, again you point to the same thing, is correct. You can point to the same object for the reference of the two different labels. So you are correct. Right? Okay. Are these two, answer to was one different? Are you sure? Tell me how.
For example, if you look at a fan and we imagine the entire fan as the entire fan, but if we think of a blade of the fan, we just think of the
Single blade. Okay, so in your mind, the fan is the one with all the blades intact, all the 3-4 blades intact, with the support also intact. A blade is just one, right? These two appear as different. How many agree with Drishti? Raise hands. Good. And on top of it, you can also say the fan and the blade of the fan. Okay, fan is the whole and the blade of the fan is a part. Part and whole, the relationship is always entity-wise one and asset-wise different. Good. Yes.
A leaf and a tree, okay?
Yes.
So when I point to the where is it? I can point to, I don't know,
A fallen leaf.
yeah, for instance. So I mean,
Okay, let's say, let's say this is a tree. These are leaves, right? And this is the branch. Where's the tree? Here. I pointed to the branch. And where's the leaf is there. I pointed to two different objects. You getting it? Okay. So therefore they can be entity-wise different. But you remember, okay, what do we say? The tree and its leaves, are they entity-wise one or different? Okay, many of them are saying, but then remember L. Remember L's argument? No? How can you defend that? L is saying that, okay, where's the tree is here. Whereas the leaf is there, is there. I point to two different objects. So these two should be two entity-wise different. How do you defend your position? Those who said that these two entity-wise one. Raise hands. Raise hands. How many you want to defend this? Raise hands. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Ben. 5.
if I can use the rule that we learned, we can use the rule.
Don't say rule, meaning.
We learned.
Rule means it scares me. Right? Okay. The meaning.
We learned that the whole and the parts are always entity-wise one as well as different.
Okay, what about, this not really mean, this statement that I made. What about the meaning? Meaning entity-wise one. What's the meaning? Anyone? Anyone? Not from this side? Okay. Yes, Sunamla. Here, Sunamla.
When we point to the leaf, it wouldn't be wrong to say that it would be wrong to say it's not true. So it would be, when we point to the leaf, it would be true as well. I mean, we did point to the same thing.
Okay, so the L, it given that she is BTech, right? And topper, all in the class, in school. School is topper, right? Okay, so she said something. Do you understand what she said? And it does make sense? Not too much. Not too clear.
My intuition, it's not the same thing.
Okay, yes. In fact, the answer is correct, perfectly correct, but it needs to be a little bit clarified. Anyone else? Okay, Nicola.
You don't say that for two things to be entity-wise one,
Yeah.
we can point to something. We didn't say we have to point to something.
Yes, this is articulation. You're getting it? So we can point to the same object for the reference to labeled. Not necessarily we have to point to the same object. In your case, you are saying that we don't have to point to the same object, right? We can point to the stem for the tree and the leaf separately, but this is We don't have to. But what he said, we don't have to, but we can. We can point to. So they said, do you see difference? We have to point to different objects versus we can point to, no. We have to point to one object versus we can point to one object. These two are different. It makes sense? Yeah? Good. So in fact, what someone said is perfect. She put it nicely. Right? That we can point to the flower and say that this is the tree. This is a tree, and it doesn't contradict you. Identify. Say you point to the flower, it doesn't contradict you to identify that as a tree, which means that we can point to the same object for the reference of the two labels. All right? We don't have to. We can. Good. Okay. Ready for next? So what example did you give? No, for what?
Entities modernized, deified,
Okay. So now the next one is, give an example of isolated as one, entity as different. Quick. Don't be lazy over there. Ceramic and vessel. Okay, ceramic and vessel. Like this. Ceramic and vessel. This is what? Example of isolated as one,
It's one, yes.
entity as different.
Yes.
Or entity as one, isolated as different. Which one?
The first one, when you look at that, it's the same.
That is entity as one, isolated as different. I'm asking the opposite. Give an example of isolated as one, entity as different. Okay. Raise hands. What happened? Lazy. Don't be lazy. Venerable here. Water in an ocean versus water in a tap. These two are entity isolated as one, entity as different. Okay, good. One. Anyone else? Raise hands. Over there. Artha?
Doesn't exist. No example exists.
No, this is, I do not ask whether example exists or not. I'm asking what examples do you have? Raise hands. Those who have, give you raise hands. Those who cannot give the answers, that's fine. Okay, here.
So, chocolates here and here.
Okay, chocolate in your room and chocolate in my room.
Yeah, or
On the two altars, the two sides of the altars, right? Two sides of the altar, the chocolate and the two sides of the altar. Okay, we have two examples. More examples? Yes.
Human and boy and girl.
Human and boy and girl. These two are what? Isolated is one, entity is different. What yes?
Entity was one.
No, we are asking for the opposite. Isolated was one, entity was different. Okay, we got, that's for two. Puja. Moon and moonlight. Moon and moonlight. What was that example of what? One and entity wise different. Okay, we got three. Any more? Did you have? Huh? You think of more. Okay, anyone else? If you have answers, raise hands. Yes.
Really not sure that right. The color of the pillow and the color of Nico's shirt.
Okay, color of your pillow, not the pillow in general. Some pillows can be blue. That pillow,
Yeah.
and color of Nicola's shirt. Okay, these two are Asura was one and Andrew was different. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so we got 4 examples. Any more examples? No? That's it. Right? Okay, the Kamal, you have a no? Not sure. And the girl there, Mikhail? You're not sure.
Tree and an orange.
tree and orange tree. These two are what? Isolate was one and entity was different. Okay, Carolina? Light of the sun and light of the light bulb, right? These two are? Isolate was different? No. Entity was different. Okay, how many examples we got? 5. You got 5 examples, right? In fact, I've been traveling all over the world looking for these examples. I never found, and both I never found. So here we found. In Thosamling we found 5 examples, right? So what Artha said is correct. Artha, what did you say? No examples exist. Right? Buddha never found it. Right? But we found it here, in this hall. In future, when you don't find it, come to Thosamling. Right? You'll find these examples. Okay. In other words, what is entity wise one is always isolated wise one. You can never think of entity wise one, no, isolated wise one with entity wise different. Never. You getting it? Okay. Having said this, let's say the flower and the color of the flower, entity wise one is different. Okay, now louder. Now that you already learned about this, you give answer just on the spot. You don't raise hands. Flower and the color of the flower, entity wise one is different. Good. Flower and the color of flower, isolated wise one is different. Flower and the flower and its flower and the impermanence of the flower, isolated entity wise one is different. Isolated wise one is different. Hey, louder. The flower and the impermanence of the flower, different. Okay. The flower and the flower not being chocolate. Flower and the flower not being chocolate. Are these two entities wise one different? Whereas the flower is here. Whereas the flower which is not chocolate is here. Alright, we can point to the same object. So these are entity wise one. Flower and not being a chocolate. These two are isolated wise one is different. Huh? Isolated wise different. How? Flower is a positive phenomena. And the not being a chocolate is negative phenomena. You getting it? Positive phenomena, negative phenomena, they appear to mind differently. Positive appears as I am here, solid object, without explicitly negating the object. Whereas negative phenomena appears as through explicitly negating object negation. You getting it? So these two are isolated wise different. Flower and the flower not being chocolate. The flower not being objectively real. A flower and the flower empty of objective reality. These two are entity wise one are different. Entity wise one. Isolated wise one different. Huh? Flower and the flower being empty of objective existence. Flower and the flower being empty of objective existence. These two are isolated wise one are different. Okay, those who say isolated wise different, raise hands. Okay, can you justify your point? Can you justify? Raise hands. Okay, Ben.
The flower is a positive phenomenon, and the flower being empty objective existence is a negative phenomenon.
Okay, how many agree with Ben? Raise hands. Very good. So now it has become a little more complex, but you are now understanding it. So let's say how many such isolates are there? Flower, and the flower being empty of objective existence, flower being a flower, and the color of the flower being impermanent, flower being existent, flower being beautiful, flower being not beautiful. How many such characteristics are there? Rashmi? Infinite the characteristics are there. You're getting it? Infinite characteristics there. So all these characteristics we call them isolates. You're getting it? So all these characteristics, they're different, they are isolated wise different from the flower. These are the characteristics. Object and these characteristics, they are entity wise one, isolated wise different. You getting it? So how many different isolates are there for the flower? Infinite. You getting it? Infinite isolates are there. Now you may be wondering why these attributes of the flower, they are known as the isolates related to the flower. Because say the flower and the color of the flower, on the object there is no difference. But what makes the difference? Your mind makes the difference. You're getting it? Your mind see these two are two different things. One is the parts and one is the object. So say the color of the flower cannot be extracted from the flower on the object. But in your mind you can extract it, isolate it. Your mind can isolate the color of the flower from the flower. You're getting it? But on the object you cannot be separate the two. Your mind can isolate it. So therefore, color of the flower is that as the isolate, one of the isolates related to the flower. How many such isolates are there? Infinite isolates are there. Okay, my question to you is, flower is a positive or negative phenomena? Positive phenomena. Emptiness of the flower, positive, negative phenomena. Negative phenomena. You're getting it? So, what is the positive, what is negative? The two are isolated, was different, without any doubt. If one is positive, one is negative, you can say these two are isolated, was different. Okay. Now, you tell me, I will pick up some objects and you tell me what they are. Okay, first, what is this? Mala. What is this? Singing bowl. What is this? Book. What is this? Clock. What is this? Flower. What is this? Paper. Okay. Did you notice one thing? All the answers that you gave are positive and negative phenomena. Positive phenomena. You getting it? While when I said, what is this? You could have said that this is empty of chocolate. But you do not say this. You could have said that this is empty of objective existence. You do not say this. You say it's a flower. Our mind is addicted to seeing positive phenomena. You're getting it? What is emptiness? Positive and negative. Within negative, what is that? Affirming or non-affirming? Non-affirming. Our mind is so least habituated in seeing non-affirming phenomena. You're getting it? Our mind is addicted to seeing positive things. Whereas emptiness is always non-affirming, negative. You're getting it? So therefore, this is how we are suffering samsara. We're so addicted to seeing things as a positive phenomena. We never used to seeing things in the non-affirming negative. Only by seeing the non-affirming negative for emptiness, we can expect to remove our mental defilements. When you don't see non-affirming negative for the emptiness, we will never remove the mental defilements. Without removing the mental defilements, we continue to suffer in samsara. You getting it? Of the 10 objects that I picked up, you always give the answer as a positive phenomena, not as a non-affirming negative. You getting it? Okay. Now what? Now what? Now go to what is emptiness. You getting it? What is emptiness? Okay. Okay. What is emptiness? How many of you are ready? Raise hands. Okay, which means that we can have a holiday now. It's only about 4 or 5 people raise hands. What is emptiness? How many of you are interested to learn? Right? Okay. Except for Jacob. Jacob is like this. All of us are like this. Like this. You're not too serious. Only Jacob is like this. Right? Okay. Okay. And the Subhashji. Right? Subhashji like this. Very good. Only 2. Right? All of us are like this. Like this. Okay. Just raise hands those who like to learn about emptiness. Raise hands. Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay. Good. For emptiness, to establish emptiness, there are so many reasons. And later on, once you understand what emptiness is, you can formulate your own reasons. Not necessarily that you have to stick to one or two reasons that you learn from somewhere. Later on, you can formulate your own reasons to establish emptiness. By the way, before we jump into this, my question to you is, what do you understand by emptiness? Describe. Quick. Reasons. Only one hand coming up. Quick. What do you understand by emptiness? Okay. Professor William. Emptiness, dependent existence. Very good. And yeah. The emptiness is emptiness of intrinsic existence. Good. Nicola? Absence of, okay, let's say lack of, empty of, absence of, they all mean the same. Absence of objective existence. Okay, Dovala? No, don't say same. You use a word.
Empty of objective existence.
Empty of objective existence. Very good. Jacob? Something we can negate without?
Without doubt.
Okay, without doubt. Okay. Let's say that I'm not a tree without doubt. Is this emptiness? I can negate myself to be a tree without doubt. Right? And I have no doubt that I'm not tree.
So you're
Right.
becoming being a tree.
No, is this emptiness?
Suppose if you negate an object,
No, listen, right? I thought that you have a good ear. Seems like your ear is somewhere else, right? Okay, so what is emptiness? Emptiness does not mean, oh, this ball is empty. This is not empty. You got it? Emptiness in the concept, understanding of which your mental defilements will be gone rid of. Understanding of which your basic, fundamental ignorance will be gone rid of. In that context, what do you mean by emptiness?
sorry, I was thinking of non-affirmative negative phenomena.
Okay, so now do you understand it? But, okay, anyone else? Okay, Sherry Pema.
Empty of independent existence.
Empty of independent existence. Good. Okay, Tinsbiala.
Empty of true existence.
Very good. And Jill?
Emptiness does not mean nothingness.
The emptiness does not have a connotation of nothingness. Very good. Anyone else? Carolina?
Empty of independent self.
Empty of independent self. Very good. The Kamalji?
Same, I was going to say.
Never say same, just say it.
Like composite of many entities.
The things which are composed of other parts. Very good. Okay. Nicola already said it, right? You already said it. Empty of objectives, you already said it. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay, Pembisunla. Emptiness is middle way. Very good. Okay. Now, what exactly is emptiness? This question. Because this is the point. For this, first of all, we plunge into what is known as, I said that there are so many reasons, and later on you can also formulate your own reasons. You can, like what Professor Williams said, that emptiness, for example, like this flower, as empty of true existence because it is dependently existent. You're getting it? You can formulate your own reasons later on. But for the time being, for us to learn, I'm going to give a reason, what is known as the reasoning of the four essentials to establish emptiness. Let me repeat it. The reasoning of the four essentials, the reason of the four essentials to establish emptiness. The reason of the four essentials. Okay, Benla, translate. The reason of the four essentials, four essences, four essential points to establish emptiness.
הסיבה או ההיגיון של ארבעת הנקודות המהותיות כדי לבסס את הליכוד.
Okay, first we need to enumerate the four essentials. We need to write down what the four essentials are. Number one, essential of understanding the object of negation. Essential of understanding the object of negation, number one. And tomorrow we need to have all these 4 points on our fingertips. First one, essential of understanding the object of negation. Number two, okay, Ben?
הנקודה המהותית של הבנת
Essential of understanding the object of negation.
הנקודה המהותית של הבנת האובייקט של אותו רחם של אלוהים.
Number two, essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being one with, essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Let me repeat it. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Let me repeat it. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Ben?
הנקודה המהותית של ההבנה שהאובייקט ריק מקיום אינהרנטי אחד מהחלקים שלו.
Number three, emptiness, the essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different. Earlier it was intrinsically one, now intrinsically different, otherwise same. Emptiness of objects being intrinsically, what is that? Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Let me repeat it. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Ben?
הנקודה המהותית של ההבנה שהאובייקט ריק מקיום שונה אינהרנטית מהחלקים שלו.
Okay. Then finally, essential of understanding the pervasion. Pervasion that, essential of understanding the pervasion that anything which is empty, anything which is empty of being, let me repeat it, essential of understanding the pervasion, Pervasion, essential of understanding the pervasion that anything which is empty of being, intrinsically one and intrinsically different from its parts, entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Let me repeat it. Essential of understanding the pervasion that anything which is empty, of being intrinsically one and intrinsically different from its parts, empty of being intrinsically one and intrinsically different from its parts, entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Let me repeat it. Essential of understanding the pervasion that anything which is empty of being intrinsically one and intrinsically different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Shall I repeat? Essential of understanding the pervasion that anything which is empty of being intrinsically one and intrinsically different from its parts entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Yes, over there? Okay, don't worry. First write it down. Yes. Last one. Essential for understanding the pervasion that, what does it say? Anything which is empty of being one, intrinsically one with and intrinsically different from its parts, entails the emptiness of objective existence of the object. Okay, the Timothy, right? Timothy, just Google search what's the meaning of pervasion. You have mobile? You don't have. Oh, you don't, nobody. Anybody who likes to Google search for Timothy? What's the meaning of pervasion? Or anybody who likes to explain what the meaning of pervasion is? Laura. No? Okay, yes, here. Nicola.
Google definition of pervasion is the process of spreading through and being present or perceived in every part of something.
Okay, the water pervades the floor. It spreads. You getting it? Say, let's say the human beings pervades the male and females. You getting it? Human being pervades. Meaning that, what is the male and female should be? Human being. That's mean pervasion. Okay. Now what? So now 4 essentials done. Huh? Now tell me what? What should I do now? Huh? Emptiness. 4 essentials. Explain, right? Okay, explain each one of them. The first, what is the first one? Okay, essential for understanding the object of negation. Okay. You tell me if my statement is correct or not correct. I have no luncheon in my pocket. I have no luncheon in my pocket. Is a correct statement or not correct statement? Huh? Correct statement. Because it's not lunch. Luncheon. Okay. So there is no luncheon in my pocket. Is a correct statement or not correct statement? Gentleman over there. Huh? There is no luncheon in my pocket. Okay. Carolina. What is luncheon? I don't know. You getting it? Okay. There's no luncheon means I'm negating luncheon, right? Object of negation. You getting what's the first essential? Essential identifying the object of negation. You getting it? You have to first identify what is negated. So Carolina is correct. So first I have to identify what is luncheon. To say it is in your pocket or to negate it in your pocket, I first have to identify what luncheon. Luncheon means elephant. Luncheon is Tibetan word for elephant. There is no luncheon in my pocket. Correct statement or correct statement? I'm negating the presence of luncheon in my pocket. Is correct or not correct? Correct. So you have identified what luncheon is. Now you can negate it easily. You getting it? Good. So when you say emptiness of objective existence, what is negated? Hey. Emptiness of objective existence, what is negated? Jacob? Objective existence is negated. How many agree with Jacob? Raise hands. Good. This flower is not a chocolate. What is negated? What is explicitly negated? Flower being the chocolate is negated. You getting it? I've no chocolate in my hand. What is negated? Chocolate in my hand is negated. You getting it? Okay. So what is negated is known as the object of negation. You getting it? Okay. This flower is not permanent. What is object of negation? The permanence of the flower, or the flower being permanent, is the object of negation. The flower does not exist objectively. What's object of negation? flower being objectively existent, or the objective existence of the flower is the object negation. You getting it? Now one by one. You are ready? How many you understood it? Raise hands. Object negation. At least intellectually. Raise hands. How many you have not understood it? Raise hands. Not understood. Huh? Few more examples. Drishti is not 60 years old. What is negated? Very good. Okay, drishti is not a table. What is negated? Okay, drishti is not a table. What's the object negation? You being a table is the object negation. Object negation means the object or the thing that has been negated. Right? We understood now? Good. Okay, how many of you did not understand it still? Raise hands. Object of negation. Okay, let's say Ben. The flower is not a chocolate. A flower being chocolate is negated. Okay. Hebrew.
הפרח הוא לא שוקולד, אז מה שהרבה שאותנו אנחנו שוללים זה שהפרח הוא שוקולד. זה הרבה שאנחנו שוללים.
Flower is not objectively real. The flower is empty of object real. Here, what is negated is empty of object reality of the flower is the object negation. Object negation. Object reality of the flower.
שהפרח ריק מקיום אובייקטיבי, אז האובייקט השלילה הוא שהפרח קיים באופן אובייקטיבי. זה האובייקט השלילה.
Okay, good. Okay, now tell me, I don't exist objectively, or in other words, I'm empty of objective existence. What is object negation? Who knows it? Knows the answer? Raise hands. Who knows the answer? Raise hands. Who knows the answer? Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, Jill, tell me, what's object negation? I am empty of objective existence. What is object negation? That I being objectively existent, okay, I being objectively real is the object negation of emptiness of I. How many agree with Jill? Raise hands. Good, we all agree. Very good. Thank you. Anyone else? Say raise hands. Let's say that Thosamling is empty of objective existence. What's object negation? Raise hands. Yeah. Thosamling exists object real, that is object negation of Thosamling's emptiness. How many agree with you all? Raise hands. Good, you understand it. Now the next step. You getting it? The next step is, so if somebody asks you, what is the object negation of emptiness in general, without specifying emptiness to something, emptiness of I, emptiness of flower, and so forth, what is the object negation of emptiness? What do you think is the answer? Raise hands. Over there, the lady over there, what's your name? Yes. Yes, over there. What's your name?
My name is Kalindra.
Kalindra. Yes, and then what's the answer? Independent self. Emptiness in general. What's the object negation of emptiness in general? Calendar. Calendar or calendar? Kalindra. Kalindra said independent self. Okay. How many agree with Kalindra? Yes, that's perfect. Independent self. Very good. And in fact, object negation, there are so many labels with the same concept. There are so many labels. Okay? Your thoughts. What's the object negation of emptiness in general? Kalindra said the independent self. Anyone else? Raise hands. Okay. Nicola. Objective existence, good. Jacob. Independent existence, very good. Anyone else? Quick. The Ben. Intrinsic existence? True existence, anyone else? Objectively real, anyone else? Inherent existence? Existence by itself, very good. Okay, next question. What do you understand by existing by itself? What do you understand by objective existence? What do you understand by the independent self? You getting it? They all mean the same. Let's make it simple. Let's keep it simple. What's the objective negation of emptiness in general? Let's say objective existence. Let's say. What do you understand by objective existence? Anyone? This is complicated. Reasons? What do you understand by objective existence? Reasons? Yeah? Yes. Yes.
Something that exists without a subject, just for itself.
Something which exists without the
subject that precedes it.
something which exists without the object,
Without the subject that precedes it. An object.
independent of the subject imputing it. Good. Anyone else? In your own words, Nicola? Something exists from his own side, independent of the mind apprehending it. Good. Anyone else? What do you understand by objective existence? Okay, Jacob? Something
Conceived as permanent.
something existing as permanent. Okay. This is Biela?
That this book is coming from the book and it's not coming from my mind.
That the book is existing or coming from itself without my mind's involvement. You getting it? Anyone else who likes to share your thoughts? What do you understand? What do you understand by objective existence? Yes, Kamalji.
Something that is solid and exists as an object.
Something that exists as an object. Okay, so something exists as an object. Anyone else who likes to add more? Okay, here Pooja. Something which is absolute. Very good. Anyone else? Doesn't have a beginning. Something which does not have a beginning and end, which exists eternally. Good. Anyone else? Okay, but when I say good, don't trust my good. You're getting it? I say good to everything. Right? So we have to listen to all these things. Don't take everything as correct. You're getting it? We listen and then you mentally see if you agree, don't agree. You're getting it? Okay. Okay, the first Bodhicitta retreat that happened. The first Bodhicitta retreat, I think about like how many years ago? 10 years ago. 12 years ago. They say it was a small group. Sunla was there, right? Okay, the first retreat. And then they say, people interrupt my class, right? I just say one sentence, then they raise hand, they're like this, right? And I say, very good, very good. And the host said that all the participants don't trust Geshe-la's very good, very good. When Geshe-la says very good, it means shut up, shut up. You're getting it? Okay, don't trust my good, good. You're getting it? Okay. It is for you to reflect more. What is so important is for our intelligence should grow. Right? You feel free to give your thoughts. It can be wrong, it doesn't matter. Give your thoughts. As you're giving your thoughts, your brain is constantly being activated. You're getting it? Good. This is real good. Okay. Anyone else? What do you understand by objective existence? Okay, Subhashji.
That which is not imagined.
That which was okay. Very good. That's real very good. Okay, what is objective existence? That which is not imagined, right? But very good doesn't. It means that you are being very creative. You thought about it. Is it correct or not? Not sure. Who? Sherry Brahma, you gave all before? No. Okay, good.
Something that would be perceived by different subjects in the same way.
Okay, there's also a very creative way of thinking. Same object seen by different subjects, but the same thing, seen as the same object. There's also another way of understanding objective existence. Very good. Anyone else? More thoughts? Taruna.
Something which appears objectively real.
Something which appears objectively real, and the something which objectively as opposed to subjective. Something which is objectively there as opposed to subjective imputation. Very good. Anyone else? Okay, if you okay, Laura.
Something which exists by its own power.
Something existing by its own power. So look, these different let's say the ways of presentation reinforces and makes our thinking extremely vast and flexible. Very good. Thank you. Anyone else? You want to add your thoughts? Ben?
Something which is extremely real there.
Something which is extremely real there. Yes? Jane?
Something that exists without cause or condition.
Something which exists independent of the causes and conditions. Dwala?
Something that is tangible.
Something which is tangible, right? Pointable. Something is there. Very good. Different ways of looking at it. Anyone else? Do you see? Yes.
Something which doesn't have any suffering.
Something which doesn't have suffering. No suffering.
No cause and effect and no suffering.
Okay, something which is independent something which is independent the causes and conditions. So there's no suffering. This is another way of thinking, right? Because there's no cause and if it's independent, it doesn't depend on anything else. It doesn't depend on causes and conditions. So therefore, suffering comes into causes and conditions. Whatever causes and conditions, it should be independent of suffering. Very good. Creative. Sonamla? You already said it? No. No, don't say same. Just say it.
Something which is coming into existence on its own.
Something which comes into existence on its own. What do you mean by on its own?
By its own power, not dependent on any of the causes and conditions, not dependent on the subject.
Not dependent on the subject, not dependent on any other things like causes and conditions, the subject and so forth. Very comprehensive. Thank you. Okay, anyone else before I jump to the main point? Okay, good. No one. Yes. Huh? Anyone? No one. Okay. To identify. Venerable? I see. Okay. Okay. Yes, Jacob.
Could you say objective?
No, you already said it. You said independent of cause and condition, permanent, right?
Could you say they're all concepts of mind? Because everyone's concept of the mind may be different depending on the object. You can see the same object in different ways. So is it not just merely a conception?
Very good. So in a way, what you said is similar to who said it? Who said? Somebody said I think you with the different minds but seeing the same object. Very good. Okay. Okay. Now, the first essential is extremely important. If you fail to identify the object well, then all your journey of emptiness will be a failure. You getting it? So the first one is very important. So let's say that identify the object of negation very precisely. You must be freed of what is known as maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. You getting it? You must be freed from these two problems. Maximalist redundancy and the minimalist inadequacy. You must be free from these two. Okay, Benla, you want to say something? The identified object negation must be done so properly Otherwise, all your journey of emptiness will be a failure. So how to do that is by avoiding the two extremes, maximalist redundancy and minimalist inner. One is too short, too less, one is overly. So these two should be stopped and be very precise.
כדי להבין את ההתפלגות, אנחנו חייבים להבין את הנקודה המהותית הראשונה, שהיא להבין את האובייקט שאותו אנחנו מצבים בשלילה. אנחנו צריכים להיות מאוד מאוד מדויקים כשאנחנו מבינים מהו אובייקט השלילה. אז כדי להבין בצורה מאוד מדויקת מהו אובייקט השלילה, אנחנו צריכים להימנע משתי קצוות. כקצה אחד, הוא שיש לנו אומר המקסימליסט redundancy, שזה אומר שאנחנו
You reject more than required.
אנחנו שוללים יותר ממה שאנחנו אמורים לשלול. והקצה השני, minimized inadequacy, אנחנו לא שוללים מספיק. אנחנו צריכים להבין את האובייקט בצורה מאוד מדויקת, אנחנו צריכים להימנע מלשלול יותר מדי או לשלול פחות מדי.
Okay, let's say, this is so important. If they say, if you see that, say, there, let's say that there is a spy tells the government that there's a terrorist there's a terrorist can potentially enter into your country, right? So your job is to stop the terrorist. Even how many terrorists? Only one. And the government will say that, okay, from tomorrow onwards, no tourists, no visas, all visas stop. Right? Is it good enough to stop the terrorists? Can you stop the terrorists? Yes, of course. Terrorists cannot come. Terrorists can come from outside into the nation, into the country. So he said no entry into the country. No one can enter into the country from tomorrow. So, does it stop the terrorists or not? Huh? It stopped the terrorists, but there's another problem. What's the problem? Huh? How? Because your nation has to survive. Your nation has to have a bilateral relations with other countries. You getting it? Say diplomatic movements are there, VIP movements are there. All these are stopped. Business stopped. Everything stopped. You getting it? This is where you reject more than what is to be rejected. You getting it? This is known as maximalist redundancy. Ben.
אבל זה נופל תחת הקצה של מקסימליסט redundancy. עצרנו יותר מדי. כשעצרנו יותר מדי, אז נכון, הטרוריסט לא יכול להיכנס, אבל גם כל המדינה לא יכולה לתפקד. אז אנחנו צריכים להימנע מלשלול יותר מדי.
And then the second problem is that say there are a number of terrorists. We never know what is the number of the terrorists. And then say next day you get hold of one terrorist. Oh, we got a terrorist. Okay, now anybody let in, right? Is it also correct or not correct approach? Not correct approach. How? Raise hands. How is it not correct approach? Okay, Jacob. Okay, yes, Carolina. Okay, so the terrorists, the number of terrorists, but you got one and you're happy with this, right? So you rejected what? What's the problem with this? Maximalist redundancy or minimalist inadequacy? Minimalist inadequacy, because you just go to one and you're happy with this. There can be more terrorists coming. You're getting it? So you have to identify the terrorists so well and stop them, and don't stop them more than what is to be stopped, but stop exactly what you have to stop. Right? Just stopping one and letting others enter is a disaster. And stopping everybody is also a disaster. You agree? Okay, somebody tell me, stopping everyone from entering the country, how is it a problem?
Excessive.
Huh?
Excessive.
What's excessive?
Stopping everyone.
What's the problem?
It's like hitting a fly with a hammer. It's excessive.
No, what's the problem to the nation?
Oh, trade,
Trade, movement, all these things.
freedom.
Yeah, personal freedom, this all stopped. So it is, you are stopping more than what is required. You getting it? Did you follow that? So when you identify object negation, you identify object negation so well. You getting it? Now tell me. Okay, I'll tell you. Say, if you ask me, what is the object negation of emptiness of flower? I say the permanence of the flower. That the flower exists permanent, this is to be negated. If you negate it, do you get the emptiness complete or not?
No.
Huh? No. How not? Okay, tell me. So by seeing the flower, negating the flower as permanent, does it entail you, or does it amount to understanding emptiness? Is it equal to understand emptiness? Seeing this flower is not permanent means seeing the flower as impermanent. You getting it? But knowing the flower is impermanent doesn't mean that you've understood emptiness. No, you're getting it. How? Because the Buddha taught the four seals, all composite things are impermanent. Number one. Number two, all contaminated things are suffering nature. What is number three? Everything is in nature, emptiness and selflessness. So number one is very gross in comparison with number three. You getting it? So seeing impermanence doesn't mean that you understand emptiness. You getting it? So simply rejecting permanence, this does not suffice. Rejecting the object negation of emptiness. It's too gross. Too gross. In other words, it is minimalist inadequacy. By rejecting permanence, it is inadequate for you to understand emptiness. You getting it? Okay, good. Now let's say that what is mean by the object negation of the flower, empty. What is that object negation of the emptiness of the flower? I say that the flower, the existence of the flower, What's the problem? Existence of flower is negated. When it's emptiness, means existence of flower is negated. What's the problem? Maximalist redundancy, minimalist inadequacy. Raise hands. Okay, raise hands those who have the answers. Raise hands. Okay, Laura, tell me. Minimalist inadequacy. Are you sure? Okay, the drishti. This is maximalist redundancy. Okay, how many agree with drishti? Okay, maximalist redundancy. How many you agree with drishti? Raise hands. Okay, the artha, can you explain it? There at bottom. Bottom is artha.
Keshav, what? So it's essentially negating the existence of the flower, not the objective existence, right? So we are
negating the flower. So what's the problem?
Yeah. So we are, like having a more, I would say we are
negating more than what is to be negated.
Exactly.
Very good. Okay. So when I say that you negate the existence of flower, when you negate the existence of flower, objective existence of flower is negated or not negated? When you negate the flower, when you negate the objective existence of flower, does it negate the objective existence of flower? Everything of the flower is negated. You getting it? But objective existence is negated and existence should not be negated. But you negate both. This is maximalist redundancy. Right? Laura, you agree? Good. So this is maximalist redundancy. Very good. Okay. So now, so when we say that, okay, what is the object negation of emptiness of flower? I say that on the that the flower to be a chocolate. Flower to be chocolate is the object negation of the emptiness of flower. Is it correct or not correct? Huh? Not correct. Okay, we all tired. What happened? Huh? Only Yale seems to be very fresh. Everybody else, all others are very tired. Huh? Little warm because of emptiness. Okay, I understand that. Yeah. Okay, there should be some fan. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 fans are required. Okay, look. Hey, donation. Right. So usually I don't go for fundraising, but it's required. Right. If anybody who likes to, feel free. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. At least where you are sitting, if you fix it, that's good enough. Right. 1, 2 here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So, okay. Any the support would be so helpful. So somebody needs support. Usually I don't talk about these things. Okay. Doesn't need support. So yes, this is required. Yeah. Okay. What I was saying. Okay. If you ask me what is the object of negation of the flower, emptiness of flower, I say flower being the chocolate is the object of negation. Is it correct or not correct? Hey, what's happened? Huh? And it's not fast. It's your your brain is working slow. You're getting it because of the heat. We need a fan there, right? Okay, let me repeat it. If you ask me, right, sometimes my brain hangs. If you ask me, what is the original negation of emptiness of flower? You understand it? If I give the answer, the flower being the chocolate is the object of negation of the emptiness of flower. Is it correct or not correct? Not correct. How not?
It's not specific enough. It
So what's the problem? Maximalist redundancy, minimalist inadequacy. Huh? Minimal or maximum? Are you sure? How? Even if you reject the flower to be chocolate, still you do not get emptiness, right? Still you believe the flower to be objectively real. So therefore you do not reject what you rejected is too less, too minimal. Very good. How many agree with Carolina? Good. Okay, now let's say that we have now to make it, let's try to consolidate what we learned thus far. Pick up anything in in front of your table. Just pick up anything and show that to me. And now look at it yourself. Look at it yourself. Yes. And see how it appears to you as object real or like your mind imputing it. How does it appear to you? Object real. Raise hands. It appears object real. Okay. Now our job is to it appears object real, and we believe it to be object real, and that is the cause of all the problems in our life. The object appears object real, and we believe it to be object real. That is known as self-grasping ignorance. Self-grasping ignorance does not mean grasping at the self, the person. It can be with any object. Self-grasping ignorance of the flower, self-grasping ignorance of the person, self-grasping ignorance of the food, chocolate, house, trees, and so forth. Right? This is the This is the self-grasping ignorance, root of all the problems. So, our next job is what? How do we know that this is ignorance? In other words, how do we know that the flower does not appear as it appears to me? Does not exist as how it appears to me as objectively real. Right? This is the next point. So for this, what is next essential? Even the volume is down. All right. Even the volume is down. Right. So if I look at each one of you, your face, I can see that the volume is down now. It's deflating. Right. Except for Al and Jacob. Two of them are very fresh. Huh? Iran. Okay, Iran. Yes. Iran. Except for Iran and no. Except for Iran and Jacob, right? Otherwise, we see that. Okay. That was, I think, how many years ago? Perhaps 30 years ago. 30 years ago, when I was in my 20s, right? And I was so enthusiastic. Everybody must understand. Everybody must understand emptiness. This was my enthusiasm. Just 20 years, totally inexperienced. And the desire to help everybody. You must realize emptiness because that you should be free from suffering. So one time I was invited to the army camp to give a talk on Dharma talk, right? Particularly there's one gentleman who must be in his, I think, 40s or early 50s, and he was also a soldier there. And so all this camp was they were all Buddhist, and this gentleman, he showed lot of devotion. There's a piety to his Buddhism and there is his religion. So I was also so keen, very young, very hot blood, so energetic, enthusiasm, no experience, right? And I start teaching emptiness. Whatever I learned the 10 years, I taught everything in 1 hour to him. In 1 hour. No exposure to logic, reason, psychology, nothing. And I just said everything, you must have it, you be liberated from samsara. Right? Then after about 1 hour, I see that his eyes, they are double folded. Right? What happened? Right? So it's all because of this person's total inexperience and being totally inexperienced, right? Just vomiting everything what he learned the 10 years in somebody who has no basic in just 1 hour, right? And then eyes double folded. What happened? I stopped instantly. You're getting it? So in your case, no eyes are not double folded, but eyes are closing down now. Right? Okay. So what is next now? Second essential. What is second essential? Okay. Essential understanding of the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Okay. This is a very important point. Very important point. What we're learning is something very abridged, very short, and very simple. And don't feel complacent with what we're learning here. You must keep expanding. If you think that this has some meaningful value for your life, you must expand the learning. This is so precious. Okay. So let's say that Jill, would you mind giving me your bottle? Thank you, Jill. Okay. What is this? Here, what is this? No, you don't have. Did you notice how she's what she's saying and how she's saying? She's the absence of chocolate. Okay, what is this? A bottle of water. A bottle of water, right? Don't complicate it. Okay, if you want to complicate, at least come fresh, right? Okay, bottle of water. Okay, say I ask you what it says. You say this is a bottle of water. If I ask the same question to a chemist, they will say this is H2O. If I ask the same question to the physicist, particle physicist, they will say it's just a bunch of electrons, protons, neutrons. Do you agree with me or not? Which of the three answers is correct? Huh? Louder. Right, louder. All are correct, but there's a difference. There's a difference. Although you classify all of them as correct, but there's a huge difference. What is this difference? Say, you look at the person who's sitting next to you. Look at the person. Quick. Look at the person sitting next to you. Okay, Tenzin-la, your friend. No, Tenzin-la, your friend. Korean girl, what's your name? Yonu? Yonu, look at Tenzin-la. Yes, okay, right? Okay, look at your friend once more. Once more. Okay, I did not ask you to smile, you are smiling. Right, you are smiling, I did not ask you to smile. Don't smile, look at the other person again. Don't smile. Don't frown also. Professor William is frowning. Okay, still you are smiling. Still you are smiling, right? Okay, now look. Do you agree with me that the face looking at which made you smile, this face is nothing but made of billions of atoms? You agree? Not agree. Okay, now close your eyes and imagine the same person. Imagine that you are just seeing a bunch of atoms, billions of atoms. Just imagine you are looking at a bunch of atoms. No, just imagine. Imagine looking at the person's face, which is nothing but a bunch of atoms. Okay, good. Open your eyes and tell me, is there any difference? When you look at the other person, not in the light of atoms, it made you smile. When you look at the person, just a bunch of atoms, you stop smiling. If you see just a bunch of atoms, you stop smiling. You getting it? Okay. Why do you stop smiling? Anyone? Raise hands. Okay, Elena. Because I don't see the person anymore, right? Okay. And if you still smile, it is time for you to go to mental hospital. Just see atoms and you smile, go to mental hospital. You getting it? So Elena, thank you. Your answer is correct. I don't see the person anymore. Isabel? Same answer. Okay. So, look, this is where, say, when you see the bunch of atoms, the person is seen as empty. You getting it? Emptiness of the person. The person disappears. You getting it? So person disappears and it has an impact on your emotional world. When you see it as a person, it makes you smile. When you see it's a bunch of atoms, the smile disappears. You getting it? So this is where your perception is related to your emotional world. Happiness, unhappiness, stress, anxiety, neutral, they're all related to the perception of the object. Okay. Although you said that seeing this is water, seeing this is H2O, seeing this bunch of atoms, they're all correct. but the emotional consequences are very different. You're getting it? Emotional consequences are very different. In the first case, when you see water, if you are thirsty, you feel like drinking the water. If you see a bunch of atoms, you don't feel like drinking it, because there's nothing, there's water, you don't see the water there. Right? Okay, this is so important. My question to you is, what do you see as a person who made you smile? That person, when you go in the atomic level, the person disappears. Right? Tell me. Look at the other person once more. Look at the other person once more. Once more. Okay. Professor William is not, he's looking at me. Yeah. Okay, good. Now tell me, how did the other person appear to you? As objectively real or as like your mental creation? The person appears objectively real. You getting it? And how to what extent you believe in this, that it does exist objectively? It appears objectively real, and how to what extent you believe in it, that it does exist objectively? Just be very honest. 100% as objective real. This is what we believe, right? Okay, now let us see. This is deception. What I see as the other person is objective real, this is deception. Yet, although intellectually we say it's deception, but deep inside we feel that no, it's not this is so real, because it triggers the emotions. You're getting it? It triggers the feeling of the smile, joy, sadness, whatever, which means that you believe that the object is objectively real. Okay, now how do we evaluate if the object does exist objectively or not? How do we evaluate that? This is a question. This is a very serious question. What's the question? What's the question? How do we evaluate if the object does exist objectively or not? Okay. Anybody else who likes who can paraphrase or reproduce what I said? The question, quick, because the question must be very clear. If the question is not clear, then all what we do later will make no sense. Anyone who likes to reproduce the question that I asked or paraphrase the question? The content should not be altered. Anyone? Will I try? No? Anyone? Yes? Jill?
How do we evaluate if an object exists objectively?
Okay, how many of you agree that this question is the correct one? Raise hands? Good, thank you. So, how do we evaluate? Okay, let's say you look at the flower. How do we evaluate if the flower exists objectively real, the way it appears to us? This question. For this, remember what Arya Nagarjuna taught. Now Arya Nagarjuna comes here. Arya Nagarjuna, what he taught? He taught in Ratnavali or Ratnamala is the same. The text is known as the Precious Garland in English. Precious Garland or Ratnavali or Ratnamala. Precious Garland. In the text, he taught that if the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Let me repeat it. If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? If the mirage were to be water, why not those close by the mirage see water? Okay, so just imagine that I am 1 kilometer away from you, and you see me in water, and you're wondering, is it that he's in water, or is my optical illusion? Is it optical delusion? Is he really in water, or what I'm seeing is a mirage? How? Okay, say you are 1 kilometer away from me, and you are seeing me in water. I appear to be in water to your eyes from distance, and you want to evaluate if I'm really in water or it's just illusion that you are seeing. What you're seeing is just a mirage. How do you evaluate that? Raise hands. Raise hands. How do you evaluate that? Raise hands. Raise hands. Raise hands. Okay, Taruna. By coming closer to where? Towards me. How many agree with Taruna? Raise hands. Good. By coming closer. You're getting at this, very important. So the same object appears in two different ways. Same object appears in two different ways. Same object, from distance, it appears to be in the water. You getting it? And coming closer, you discover that there's nothing really, it's totally dry. You're getting it? So you don't see the water there. From distance, you see water. From nearby, you don't see water. What do you conclude? What you conclude is that what you earlier saw as water was deceptive. What you earlier saw as water was mirage. You getting it? You getting it? Okay. So this is how we evaluate. In other words, from this what we learn is that the same object can be seen in two different ways. One from close inspection, one from distance. You agree? Okay. Likewise. Okay. What do you see as a okay, let's say this one. What do you see as a flower? If you look at it very closely through electron microscope, you will see a bunch of atoms. You agree? No flower. Right? Okay. Tell me, what you earlier saw as a flower objectively real, where is this flower? Imagine that now you are seeing the same object through electron microscope, right? You don't see flower, you just see a bunch of atoms. But earlier you saw the flower as object real, and you believe it to be as object real. Where is this flower now? Where is this flower? Hey, Subhaji, where is this flower?
It's in my mind.
Okay, the Subhaji is saying it's in my. How many agree with Subhaji? Raise hand. Okay. Now, when you look at the other person who made you smile, right? Who made you smile, when you look at the same person through electron microscope, you see a bunch of atoms. And the person disappears. Where is that person who appeared as object real? Where is that? Would you say is in your mind? Huh? No? Then where is it? Where is that person who appeared as object real? Where is that person? Huh? Where's the person? Yes. Oh, that's true. What's your name? Huh? Nama and Leo. Okay, Nama is very smart. See, where is Leo? Next to me? Right? Okay, right? Okay. So Nama, you are looking at the Leo through electron microscope. Right? Through electron microscope, and you see bunch of atoms. Right? Bunch of atoms.
Yeah, this moment is in my mind.
Okay, so that moment is in your mind.
Yes,
So Leo is not outside there.
it is.
Leo is in your mind.
Both.
When you are watching the electron microscope.
Okay, so I can say it in
Okay, it's not next to you.
also next to me. Yeah, both.
No, cannot be both. One is in your mind, and then which means Leo. So they Leo manifest to Leo, right? Nama, you say Leo is, you know, at the hunt. If they are like, let's say here 50 people, then there are 50 Leo, right? One in Nama's mind, and 50 Leo in 50 minds, plus outside there next to you, 51 Leo. There's only one Leo, right? Okay. So what's the answer? Where is that? Think of it. Think of it. Right? The person sitting next to you, when you see, it makes you smile. It's so real there. And don't forget what Nama said. Next to me. You get it? Don't forget it. But when you look at the electron microscope, it disappears. What you earlier saw as a person object real, who made me smile, where is it? On the object you don't see there. Where is it? This is the question. Think about it. We stop here. Deyata Om Gati Gati paragate parasamgate bodhisvatyata om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvatyata om gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisvaha. Let us do a quick dedication prayer, page 52. Okay, let us dedicate the merits thus gathered as following. The fact that we are together here, number one, because of Thosamling, Venerable Samula, who started this, so courageously started this, like how many years ago? 20? Since 2000? 2003. Like 30 years. 20 years. Okay, 20 years. And then this also, because they say she started this with the inspiration from the blessings and inspiration from His Holiness the Dalai Lama. She started this, and then many of you are connected. In fact, to say many of you are connected. This is like a joint program of Thosamling in Tibet House. Tibet House is all because of His Holiness's blessings, and many of us are connected with somehow with the Nalanda studies. Okay, for information, if you want to learn more about these things, take those brochures just for information, and if you want to apply, apply. You're getting it? But Nalanda Master's course, it will it'll be not available till the next this current batch completes. How many are from NMC2? Raise your hands. NMC2. There are several of them there. What we suggest is that the one possibility would be like the NCC, Nalanda certificate course, for about like 2 months or 3 months. This is soon going to be launched. The commenced very soon, and you can join that, and then later on you can join the NDC 5, Nalanda Diploma Course 5. In order for these studies, you have to keep the momentum of these studies, and then gradually your mind continues to grow. Otherwise, you come here, study something, oh, that's interesting, you go back, again the momentum stops. Okay, and in other words, all these, so for this program, total thus far, in 6 years, we had about like 4,300 students for this, and many people benefited emotionally, intellectually, and as well as emotionally. In the family relationships improved drastically because of these teachings. So this is all because of the blessings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So let us pray that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, that he lives long and that his wishes be fulfilled spontaneously. And also let us pray that all these great learning centers of this tradition, the monastic universities from Sakya, Kaikyu, Nyingma, Gelu, all the traditions, and then the Theravada tradition, Chinese tradition, where the great teachings of the Buddha in terms of compassion, in terms of the wisdom, where these teachings are available, let us pray that all these centers thrive in the activities of study, reflection, meditation. And centers like Thosamling, which creates a platform for the ordinary people to study and the attend retreats. Let us pray that these centers as well face no problem in terms of the sustenance, that they be always the support coming from everywhere to sustain these centers, so that as many people can benefit from these centers, and people particularly like Venerable Samula, Anitenzila, and the all Digila and Venerable here, Venerable the Karunala, and also we have the two residential teachers here. The two resident teachers here and all the staff here, that they have good health, and that they have the peace of mind, that their dharma flourish. Let's pray for that. So with this in mind, let us turn to page 52. I dedicate the merit of Das Gatha to trust realization that is in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas 3 times, and to the upholding of the doctrine, scripture, and insight. May all lives through the force of this merit never separate from the 4 wheels of the mind of vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, purview, and the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is planted with ignorance. Okay, 3 prostrations.